Hello everyone and welcome to the unboxing of the Micromax Canvas 2.2 A114. It's an upgrade over the Canvas 2 Plus with a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor and a QHD 5-inch IPS display. In the front you can see the image of the phone, at the top the Micromax logo, at the bottom you have Canvas 2.2. If you have a look on the left of the box, you will be able to see the Canvas 2.2 logo as well as the Micromax branding. Now if we move to the right of the box, you will be able to see that the front image just wraps around there. The packaging is quite solid and everything inside feels that it's comfortable. At the back you have some specifications listed. The phone features a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor with HSPA support as well, with download at 21 Mbps, upload at 5.76 Mbps. The phone also has a 5-inch QHD display that's 960 by 540 pixels, 1 GB of RAM and 4 GB ROM. There's an 8MP autofocus camera with LED flash, 1080p video recording along with a 2MP front-facing camera. Quad band support is also there, so the phone would work in the US as well, and you also have Android 4.2 Jelly Bean running on the device. There's GPS and a 2000 mAh battery which would run the phone for about 7 hours according to Micromax. You have the light sensor, proximity sensor as well as a gravity sensor. Now let's go ahead and we'll break open the seal and see what all is inside the box. Well, that's the seal open. Let's have a peek inside. So at the very top you can see the Micromax Canvas 2.2 A114. We'll just keep that aside for the time being. Now let's have a look what all goodies come with the phone. Well, that's the entirety of the box. Now I'll take things out one by one to show you. First of all, it's the USB wall charger. It's pretty standard, nothing special about it. It takes in a USB data cable. Next up, we have the micro USB to USB data syncing and charging cable. It seems better in quality than the cables given with previous smartphones from Micromax. The connectors too do look better in quality. Next up, we have the wired headset that comes with the device. These look exactly same as the ones that came with the Canvas 2 Plus. Obviously not linear style. They have a single button interface to end and receive calls and have a silver pin. These didn't sound that great and it's definitely not one for the audiophile. Now here's the 2000 mAh battery. It's 4.2 volts and it's supposed to keep the phone running for about 7 hours. Then we have the usual documentation, your warranty cards as well as user manual. The user manual is printed in color here. And it can be really useful for someone who is using a smartphone or even Android for the very first time. Well, that's everything you get inside the box. Now we'll keep these aside so that we can focus on the phone at hand. Well folks, this is the Micromax Canvas 2.2 A114. Which features a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor as well as 5-inch QHD IPS display. On the left you have the volume rocker, which is really sturdy, doesn't make any clicking noises, and you have a matte band that runs around the entire device. Now let's move over to the right side of the device. You have the power lock and unlock button there. It's quite sturdy, doesn't make any creaking noise. There you also have a sort of a metallic trim which runs on the front panel of the device. At the top you have the 3.5mm headphone jack along with the micro USB, data syncing and charging port. Moving over to the bottom of the device, you have a pinhole for the primary microphone as well as a space to get the back cover off. The back cover is really glossy and it retracts fingerprints very easily. So at the top you have the 8 megapixel autofocus camera, then the LED flash. You have Micromax logo, the Micromax branding again, as well as the main loudspeaker of the device. Well, that was a look of the build and hardware of the device. Now we'll go ahead and open up the back cover to see what all is inside. The back cover is relatively easy to open. The back cover is not as flimsy as the one which came with the Canvas 2 Plus. It doesn't flex easily. But still it's really glossy. It does attract fingerprints very easily. I'll just keep that aside while we take a look on the inside. So we have two full-size SIM card slots along with the micro SD card slot in between. Then at the top you have the 8 megapixel camera. I'll just remove the plastic sheet around it. So that's the camera. Below that you have the LED flash, and at the bottom the loudspeaker. Now I'll put the battery in so that we can power on the phone for the very first time. That's the 2000 mAh battery. The battery for some reason doesn't want to fit in its place. So I'll just take that out and try it again with some force. Alright, so the battery is in now, but it did require some force to get it into its place. I'll close up the back cover. There is no creaking and the build of the device seems really solid. But even then the device does not weigh much. It's quite lightweight. So again, in the front you have some information about the phone, that it has a 5-inch QHD IPS display and a 8MP autofocus camera. So I'll just remove this plastic cover so that you will be able to see the display better when we boot the device for the very first time. I'll just start the booting. Alright, so while the phone is booting up, let's talk a bit more about it. So you have a 5-inch panel over here, that's QHD, 960 by 540 pixels. At the top you have the 2 megapixel front-facing camera, some sensors, as well as the primary earpiece. At the bottom you have capacitive buttons which should light up. Now I'll quickly come back after doing the initial setup. So we are back, and this is the default home screen of the Micromax Canvas 2.2. I'll quickly go into settings and reduce the brightness so that you will be able to see the display a bit better. That's a little too low. Let me increase that a bit. Alright, that seems adequate. Now let's get into settings again. So you can see that the settings panel here is in white in color. Most probably they have used the HoloLight theme here. You can see the model number, it's the A114, which is running Android 4.2.2, and it's obviously not stock. Micromax has done some customizations here. Let's get into storage. So you have about 1.42 GB that's available as phone storage and 1 GB as internal SD card. So a total of about 2.4 GB is available to the user out of 4 GB ROM. Now let's get into apps so that I can show you how much free RAM is available at first boot. Let's get into running information. So you can see from here that you have about 794 MB of RAM that's free at the moment. So a total of about 973 MB RAM is available out of 1 GB. That's for the entire system. Well, this is the default launcher. You can see the 5 home screens. At first boot, the performance as well as touch response seems really fluid. This is the app drawer, and most of the Google apps seems to have come pre-installed. You also have separated widgets as well as downloads tab, which is a good thing and can be really handy to use. But that was the unboxing, hands-on and first look at the Micromax Canvas 2.2. We'll be back with a detailed review with separate benchmarking as well as gaming reviews and camera samples. Till then, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.